Join me today as I explore the fantastic reserve of Tāwharanui on New Zealand's North Island. It really is a great birding location. I went there specifically to find the kiwis, which have been regularly reported on eBird, but I was also on the lookout for takahēs. And as you will see from this video, I had a great deal of trouble trying to track them down. Well, from up here you get a really good view of Tāwharanui, and what you can see is that everything in front of you here, the peninsula and everything, is all part of the park. And what we have to do now is drive down the driveway here and go through the gate, and that gate is really along the way of the fence that is cutting off the whole of the peninsula. And this is the entrance gate that I was talking about. And there's some parrots there, and what you can see is that the fence goes all along here and actually cuts off the whole of the peninsula, and this is a fence that's trying to keep out the various predators like rats and things like that. So as you approach the fence, then it automatically opens and lets you in there. So this is exciting. We'll see what we can find in there. Won't let any rats in, and it'll close behind us. There's a kingfisher there. There's more kingfishers. I don't know how many kingfishers there are, 3 or 4 kingfishers. Oh, and down here there's a couple of, I think they're called variegated or varied oyster catchers. You don't get those in Australia. The thing that really strikes you is the sheer number of these purple swamp hens or Pūkekos. There are literally hundreds of them as you drive into the reserve. The other really common bird that you see everywhere but is very difficult to photograph are the fantails. And they follow you up and down the path because you're kicking up all of the insects. And then down along the beaches, I saw a number of pairs of these New Zealand dotterels. Really lovely looking birds. I'm walking along the bottom trail which runs along the river here, and what I'm hoping to be able to see is kākās. There's an interesting barrier up here, so this is like a sanctuary within a sanctuary where you have to clean your shoes and do all these kind of things, and the idea is to protect the trees from here, and particularly the kauri trees. So I'll just give myself a quick brush, my boots, and I think that's a squirt, yeah. There we go. And then we're through into the inner sanctuary. So I looked all along these paths to try and find the takahē, but didn't see any. But in the far distance as I was walking, I could hear the kākā, the parrots, calling. That's the kākā now. I saw one just flying over. There they go. Can you hear him in this tree? I hope you can hear him on the microphone. Wow. I was hoping to see them right in the sticks. Not a great view, but definitely one. Yeah. How good is that? I was hoping to see one, and we did. In fact, more than one, because one flew over there. I can't see this one now, he's gone. Wow, how good is that? Amazing. I was lucky enough as I was walking around to spot a Kākā right in front of me on the path, and I got this pretty nice picture. I then went to bed and got up the next day to do some dawn chorus audio recordings. I won't play the whole recording, they'll last for more than an hour, but just to give you a couple of examples of the birds that are singing, here's a New Zealand bellbird. And also in amongst the songs were the tui birds as well. You can probably hear all the noise that's going on. So I've just finished recording the dawn chorus here in Tāwharanui forest. So I'm in the inner forest, and it's really marvellous. The sounds are so different from what I'm used to. After getting up so early, I decided to go and take a rest down by the ponds at the entrance to the park. Well, this has been great fun. I got up pretty early this morning and was in the forest for quite some time, so I decided to have a rest and just sit on the edge of this wetland. And I've been here for about an hour and I've just seen so much. The first thing that caught my eye was a spoonbill, which is over there, and really not bothered by me being here. It's just happily fishing. One of the ones that's been really enjoyable to see, which we don't get in Australia, are the paradise shelducks. So they're really a nice bird, and I think I got some good pictures of them down here. In the far distance of the wetland, there's a little family of masked lapwings. So there's both the parents, but also 3 chicks, which is really fun to see them. So if you look very closely, you can see the 3rd chick over there on the left-hand side, just on the edge of the frame. As well as this family, there was also a banded rail that was going up and down the pond, very close to me. And then as well as the shallow pond, behind where I was sitting, there was a much deeper pond. And as I stood up, I disturbed this brown teal. Well, that was great fun and pretty successful. I particularly enjoyed seeing the banded rail. They're difficult to spot at the best of times. It was just going along the edge there, and hopefully I got some good pictures. So I'm going to go back now to the campsite, and I'm going to look out and see if I can find the takahēs. So let's see what we can find. Well, that was really a fantastic morning. I really enjoyed getting up at dawn and doing the audio recordings, and I got to see the kākās again, which is really fun. And then later on, when I was having a rest down at the wetlands, I was really surprised to see the variety of birds there. I wasn't expecting to see a spoonbill, but it was there and completely not bothered by my presence. And it was really fun just to sit there and watch the birds come and go. So I'm just about to make my lunch, and then after lunch, I'm going to go off and see if I can find the takahés. There's not that many birds around, but I'm hoping that if I walk quietly along the path that I'll get to see them. And then this evening, I've got an exciting trip where I've got a guide who's going to take me out, and we're going to try and see the kiwis. So off on the path again into the forest. Once again, I didn't see any takahés for this afternoon, but I did see a number of really interesting birds. So one of the rarities, but you do commonly see them in this area, are the North Island robins. And as I was walking along the track, I saw a number of them just hopping in front of me. And then, as well as the robins, I found another uncommon bird, and that of the whitehead. And just here there was a little flock of them all on the ground, working their way through the branches. So still no takahés, but in the evening I had a fantastic time looking for kiwis. Yesterday evening I went out with a local guide, Legend, and we went out kiwi spotting. And Legend had these special torches that had red lenses on them, and that made it much easier to spot the kiwis. And in fact we got really, really good views of about 4 kiwis. Now, Legend tells me there's about 500 in this forest, so that's amazing, and they're breeding so well that they're exporting them from here. The kiwis we saw were just, in the undergrowth. I think they were mainly males that we saw. I took some photographs, but whether they'll come out or not, I don't know. But also, while we were walking through the forest, we saw so many of them calling as well, or heard so many calling. And so it really was an amazing experience. Well, I got up early today to do the sound recording, and it's been such a fabulous day. So just walking up this track here, I saw 2 saddlebacks. Got really close views, but it was a bit dark and my camera wasn't focusing very well. But coming back down on the track now, I've just seen them in here, and they're very interested in the bark that they've got here. So I took some pictures. I think I got some good video, although I don't have a microphone, so there's no sound to it. But I think that may be the best video I've had of saddlebacks. So really fantastic. And then, as I left the saddlebacks, at long last, I got views of the takahē. And after searching for the takahē for so long, I finally found them. There's a pair of them just here, just going along the bank. As it turns out, they're right at the entrance to the park, just near the visitor centre type thing, and also the toilets. But yeah, they're there, and they're not worried by me at all. They're just going along the bank there. They're not going to be great photos because they're very close to the bank, and so the bank's in focus as well. But nevertheless, still amazing to see them. So I'm really pleased that finally tracked them down. Well, this is really incredible. I was hoping to see the takahē. There's actually 3 of them here. So it looks like there's 2 parent birds and a younger bird. And they're just up here on the upper parts of the woods, so just out of the woods in the grassland. They can see me, but they're not worried by me at all. Right, they're coming too close for this lens now. So I was really hoping to see them, and it's really great to see this family group. Before I came here, I didn't realize how rare they are. So actually in this reserve here, there's only a handful of them, and I've got 3 in front of me right now. So really a fantastic privilege to see them. So really this has been a fantastic experience at Tāwharanui. I camped here for 2 nights, and that enabled me to get up pretty early. And so I've been out and about on all the paths and seen lots of special birds. So many of the birds here are extremely rare, and it just shows you the power of actually protecting their environment. So by putting up the fence line that they've done and eradicating the pests within the park, they've really allowed the birds to rebound in their numbers. And the particular success here is the kiwi. So it wasn't until I went out with Legend last night that I realized that they actually have 500 kiwi here. So that's an awful lot of birds, and they're recovered because there's no pests here. So hopefully I got some good audio, hopefully I got some good pictures, and I hope you enjoyed coming along with me.